Suave.
I've been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mentor. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different road, changed relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hardly. Now
Bet Online is your #1 source for all of your basketball info, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds and lines and the latest matchup reports for this year's NBA playoffs. Bet Online is your sports intel headquarters this season, as we have you covered for all your insider sports wagering needs. From basketball, MLB, NHL, hockey, golf, to UFC and boxing. The fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your home. Get into the action today, so head to the website or use your mobile device to join, and be sure to use promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, to receive your 50% bonus on your first deposit. Bet Online, where the game starts. Alrighty, guys, we are back with another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. I'm your host, Andrew Robinson, and before we introduce our guest, gotta handle some business as always, man. If you guys are liking it, if you guys are watching this podcast on YouTube, make sure you guys are liking, leaving a comment, subscribing. It goes a long way. We're almost at 8,000 subscribers on YouTube, man. So just want to thank you to you guys for running that up, showing us love. Watch this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star rating. It goes a long, long way. That was my guy, Pull Up Tay, on the intro. It's going to be him again on the outro. He just dropped the album, so go ahead and run that up. One of the hottest up-and-coming artists out of the DMV, guys. Again, thanks to everybody who's been tuning in. Really appreciate you guys, man. But it's not about me, on the What's in Your Bag podcast, always about our guests. And today, we are joined by a guy who just finished up his first season out in Japan with the Chiba Jets, guy who's very well-traveled through the NBA with the Orlando Magic, Australia, out of Northwestern, and Wildcats had a great season this year. So his finest, Vic Law. What's up, my boy?
What's up, brother? Appreciate you for having me.
No doubt, man. Thank you for coming on, man. Shoot, man, I'm glad we can finally make this happen, man. Shoot, it's crazy how things happen, man. It's a small world. Met my guy out in Tokyo. Met my guy in Tokyo earlier this year, man, and just bonded right away, man, over just common experiences, being back in and being out here in Japan, playing stuff like that, man. So we got a bunch to get into. We're going to discuss the season out here in Japan with Chiba, obviously. But before we get into that, man, I kind of want to rewind it a little bit, man. Just kind of tell you a little bit. Obviously, you're born and raised in Chicago. One of the just meccas of basketball. I'm a DMV guy. So of course I'm gonna say we got the best in the country. You know what I'm saying? No, obviously we know about the Chicago history. So let's talk to me about just growing up in Chicago. How you first got introduced to the game and kind of just that whole Chicago basketball scene coming up.
No, for sure. So I was actually born in Chicago. I went down to Mississippi for a couple of years, was raised, and really got like Southern roots. And then came back to Chicago, and just growing up, I'm from a big family with 4 siblings. We all played sports. And I was really multi-sport really until I got to high school. I was football and basketball, and I thought football was going to be my thing. And then when I got to high school, basketball kind of took off. But, kind of like in my background, like Chicago really breeds like a different type of person, I feel like. And it's weird like describing this, right? Because I didn't notice it until I left Chicago. That like so much of the stuff that I felt was normal, or like the mindset that was ingrained in me was different than how other people think. And I just think that inner city like toughness and like having to like go get it, because I was in the city and moved to the suburbs and from South Holland, Illinois. But when I played basketball, I was always in the city and played with those dudes that felt like if they didn't make it in basketball, they wasn't doing nothing. They either got the college scholarship or they were selling drugs. Like that was the give or take, and getting to see that firsthand and like going into that culture, I felt like really kind of molded me into the type of player I am now.
That's tough, man. Obviously, No, you went to St. Rita's in the private school, the Catholic League in Chicago. Man, I know for me, just from outside looking in, you hear about the the Whitney Youngs and the Simeons in the public school area of Chicago. But you just talk about just Chicago basketball, man. Obviously, you were class of 2014, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that was my class too, man. I can remember playing at AAU, playing against Jaleel Okafor and Paul White and Miles Reynolds and all those guys. I think the next did you play with Charles Matthews as well at St. Rita's?
I did, yeah.
You got Charles Matthews, Tyler Hughes was in Chicago, around that time as well. A bunch of guys that came up around our time period, man, that 2014, 2015 in Chicago. So about your time at St. Rita's and your time just playing in Chicago with a bunch of guys around that time who were kind of coming up.
Well, you got to think, bro, like Chicago, when we were in high school, was like the peak of, I want to say, like Chicago basketball, because you had like back to back. Like you had Anthony Davis, then you had Jabari Parker, then you had Jaleel Okafor. So you just had all this talent like in the city at one time, constantly coming in and out. And so when I was in high school, especially playing at St. Rita's known as a football school. So like I told you, I thought, I'm about to be a dual sport athlete. Like I'm gonna play football and basketball. So it kind of works out perfect that I'm going here and I'm playing both, right? Yep. But I get there and they hire this coach from New York, Gary DeCesar, who's a famous basketball coach from New York. And so he gets there and he kind of even like emboldens me and like really validates that like basketball is your future. Like basketball is gonna be for you. And he recruits Charles Matthews, Dominique, his brother, and we get a whole bunch of different players in there. And even a guy that plays in the Japanese league, LJ Peak, was in Chicago at the time.
Oh man, that's my guy too. That's my guy.
Yeah, he went to Whitney Young. So playing in Chicago, like every game was a good game. Like it was never a game where you felt like, oh, this is gonna be a cakewalk. Like every game you're playing against either people that were super talented, or you're playing against the kids that like they felt like it's scrap and claw, press the whole game. Like every game is like their Super Bowl type of game.
Thanks.
And so playing in Chicago, getting that gritty like feel, that like I feel like that's why like games like that championship series like mean so much to me. Like those big games where like it's crowded, like everyone's screaming, yelling. Like those are the games that are the most fun.
No, facts, man. We will definitely go get into that championship series because I'm watching that, and that joint was like an NBA game in there with all the fans.
Yeah. So
definitely gonna get into that, man. But you talked about it a little bit, just kind of the guys that have come to Chicago, just around when we were in school, from the Anthony Davis, Parkers, obviously Jaleel Okafors, but even just talking about the history, in Chicago, man, you got D Rose and obviously even now Pat Bev has been a guy that's, I guess, was getting 40 back in high school, which is crazy to think about. Right. He's a defensive guy, man. But there's been Dwyane Wade. Like, there's been so many guys. I'll be on here forever.
No, for sure.
That come to Chicago. So for you, when you look at kind of like the fact that looking back on it now, being like, damn, man, like, I really came from Chicago with amongst all these other, legends and great basketball players, man. What does it mean to you to kind of just be from there and have your name them guys as well, guys who have made it to Chicago?
Right. And I think, it's been cool, bro, like especially having reached my rookie year, being able to go to the NBA and play in the bubble, like, and still being in and even in like a small capacity in that little fraternity, being able to play with those guys and then get a real up close and personal like connection with them, work out with them, playing open runs with them. Like, it's dope. And even though, like you said, DMV, like everyone has that own hometown bias. And I'm always gonna say like inner city Chicago is like where you're gonna see the best basketball. But to me, really, like, yeah, we have talent. Like we can say we have all these NBA players, but everyone in Chicago has this specific type of mindset, right? And it's so funny to me when I play against these guys. And, I like to talk trash like in games. Like I'm definitely gonna talk to you because I consider myself a good defender. So whenever I match up with other team's best player or whoever, you're gonna hear me the whole time. Like, I won't foul you hard. And I'm talking to you the whole time. And so it's always funny though. Everybody wants to be a tough guy nowadays. Like everyone wants to be like, everybody thinks that they want to get to that point. And being from Chicago is just like, we can do this, it's not nothing like bro, your locker room right next to mine. You can go ahead and back and do this. Like, and I feel like it's so funny because I know, it's those same guys. It's like, I'll smack the mess out of you or like, let's fight right here. They ain't never done it before. And it's so funny to be seeing the same type of guys or seeing the way they play. Like it just don't match. And so in my head, like we all see the Patrick Beverleys, and that's like the top tier of like I'm gonna be a million and like I'm gonna be like Chicago. Like I'm gonna try and like make you want to fight me every time. But it's like I feel like all of us have, especially if you play from the city, all of us have that like tough, gritty, like you gotta earn everything. I'm not switching nothing. Like I got my man, you got your man, and we gonna win. And so like it's just funny, bro. And then going back and playing like the pros from Chicago or when they all get back together, we all have that same mindset. And I just feel like it's just like such a grinded out, like, man, forget that. We're gonna play all ones. It's gonna be like this type of dogfight of game. So I feel like being from Chicago definitely gives you the right attitude and the toughness to just really never back down to anybody. And I'm blessed to be from Chicago because I think as a basketball player, my best quality is my competitiveness and how badly I want to play and like win against anybody. So I think other places have that for sure. I don't think Chicago's intrinsically it's only you can only get that in Chicago, but I think being from Chicago, I had a first-hand experience of getting punched in the mouth and definitely going out there when guys want it.
Hell yeah. That's tough, man. I definitely can relate to that, man. Just like I said, I think the DMV, any of these basketball pockets, man, DMV, New York, Chicago, it's all kind of vibe, man, that junkyard dog mentality and guys that are trying to get out the mud, you know what I'm saying? But kind of change the gears a little bit, man. So obviously you go from St. Rita's in Chicago, you end up going to Northwestern. Talk to me about the decision, man. Obviously, you decided to stay home, stay in Chicago. What kind of went into that thought process? Because from the outside looking in again, and it changed a little bit this year because Northwestern was, second in the Big Ten, and you guys went to the tournament,
right?
Too, but Northwestern's not really a basketball school.
No, never known.
Like Northwestern's an academic school. They have a great journalism program. So I got to shout out my guy Sweeney from Sports Illustrated. That's my boy, journalism school alum. But talk to me about just that thought making process and like, I'm gonna go to Northwestern.
Yeah, bro. I think so. When I was getting recruited, like it ended up coming down to Stanford, Northwestern, VCU, and Florida State. And I think my mom always wanted one of her kids to go to Northwestern. Like, both my parents should have been together. Like, really played a big part of like my decision making process for college. And I would say my pop, they both wanted good academics and good experience, but my pops is definitely more of the like, let's look at the basketball. Like, let's look at the basketball schools and try and get you like as further ahead basketball as you can. And my mom was like the academic one. Like the ball's gonna stop bouncing at some point. You need to get a good education. Like if you good, you good. Like they'll find you wherever you are. Type of thing. And I committed on the 4th of July, and I want to say my mom was like, I was ready to commit, and it was coming down between VCU and Northwestern. It was gonna be like a 50-50 toss up. And my mom, as I was about to come down the stairs, my mom, met me and she was like, "All right, now, don't disappoint your mother." And she ain't said nothing else and just walked down the stairs. And we both kind of laughed about it. I think we both knew the decision was made. Like Northwestern was where they wanted me to be. It was just where my family could see me. They could offer all their support. Like you said, it's like a great opportunity, like for networking, education, like everything, like for life after basketball. Right. It's just a good opportunity. And when I got there, Northwestern is not known for hoop. Right. Like Coach Collins got there and like changed the stuff. Like, kudos to him. Changed how Northwestern was viewed and like really wanted to put his mark and kind of his like emblem on it. But when I got there, man, those first couple of years were definitely struggles, bro. I remember our freshman year, we played that Wisconsin team that went to the Final Four with Frank Kaminsky, Nigel Hayes, Bronson Koenig.
Sam Decker too, right?
Sam Decker, yeah, they were loaded, bro. And I remember all my homies and my family like getting together to have a watch. My family came to the game. But all my homies had like a little watch party, the game, bro. Man, Wisconsin smacked us, bro. It was like at halftime, it was like 40-16. At the end of the game, it might have been like 70 to like 45, bro. Jeez. And we leave that game, and my homie texted me, and I ended up having like 15. Like I had a decent game, and my homie texted me like, "Hey, bro, don't worry about it. Hey, you got yours." And I was saying like, "Nah, bro." Like, I have never lost a game that bad. Like, they were toying with us. They would miss a shot, get the rebound, kick it back out. They ran like almost like a swing flex type offense. So if they got the ball, they holding it for the whole time. I remember that game seriously, bro. Like we were scouting them, and our coach was like, Sam Decker can't shoot. Like you can just like he a driver, athletic, can't shoot. Sam Decker was 7 for 7 that game from 3. I was like, bro, this is like that. That was like my welcome to the Big Ten moment. That was like, this is real Big Ten basketball.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So man, you mentioned going from that, but you guys were able to make the tournament while you were there at Northwestern.
Right.
So how were you guys able to kind of turn it around? And I mean, like I said, Northwestern this year was a very good basketball team. Finished second in the Big Ten. So you guys kind of were able to kind of start that transformation process and make it Northwestern what it is today. So what kind of was that process like, trying to turn the program around and turn it into a winning program that could actually compete from a basketball standpoint in the Big Ten?
Bro, like it honestly, it started with like some of the older guys teaching my class. I felt like my class was kind of the linchpin of it, kind of trying to turn it, like our guys leading and being the focal points of the team, turning it into the core of the team. But start with the older guys like teaching us and trying to like really get us into the physicality of the Big Ten. But I think we really just had a really close-knit team, right? Like we had talent, don't get me wrong, we had talent. But everybody in the Big Ten has talent. Like that's not just going to separate you. It took a whole lot of buy-in, bro, a whole lot of failing, like come together moments where we like knew like, okay, this is how we're gonna win. Like this is how we do it. And first year we were bad, but at the end, like you could tell we were starting to get better. Second year, we were right, like we should have got an NIT vote bid, but we lost, and we were like right outside the NIT. Then that third year we made the tournament. And so it was a steady like increase of getting better and better and better. And it's kind of like sad to say this, but in today's college sports with all the transferring and NIL stuff, it's hard to get that same level of progression, right? Like if you got a talented kid, like he probably one and done. Like he don't really care if the team sucks. Like if he can go, he can go. And I'm not saying like we would have done that, but it was definitely a lot more buy-in. Like we had guys that like, could have transferred, could have said, I want, if we were in the same situation as today, I feel like it would have been a whole lot more of like, I want more money. Right. You want me to stay in this? Like, you got to give me like a car deal. Like, I want some incentives.
Right.
But back then, it was just all about like, we like each other and we're here for this education. And we all made like a promise to ourselves and we committed, like, we're going to get to the tournament. Like, we're going to be the first ones to get to the tournament. And so it was just so special finally, junior year, finally getting there and hearing our names called, bro. Like, that was almost like I don't know, bro. It felt like all like them 80 years of everything finally came off our shoulders. Like, yeah, we made it. Like, and it felt like everybody was so happy for it. So it was awesome.
That's dope. You mentioned NIL, man, and obviously you were a top 100 recruit coming out of high school, so you would have had your options at schools and throwing the bag at you, throwing this and that. Right. You mentioned your parents were also heavily involved in your recruitment process. How do you think you would handle the whole NIL landscape if you were back in it now, right? Do you think that you would have made a different choice? Do you think that you would have been somebody who was trying to go and, go to a school where you could make the most money and kind of, stack up a little bit before you started your pro career?
Right.
You would have handled that whole NIL scene, being a highly touted guy coming out of high school and then having to make a college decision.
Bro, that's so tough, right? Because I think anybody given that opportunity, right? You like, let's say the first one was like, look, bro, we'll give you $500,000, and Florida State was like, we'll give you $1 million coming there. It's so tough telling a kid, like, especially a kid like middle class family, if your son can make this much money, like, you taking that, right? And you got to think about the kids now, like some of the marginalized families, like Black or underdeveloped, like families that's coming up. It's like, we'll give your son, daughter this money. That's almost like life-changing money to a lot of families. And so it's hard to say, like, nah, like, I'm not taking that. Right. Like, yeah, of course you're taking the money now. Right. So I love Northwestern. And Northwestern is always going to have a place in my heart. But when I was coming up, if like NIL was a part, that for sure would have taken a huge toll. And and it's curious now, like thinking like when we become parents, like, if we're blessed to have kids that are athletes and are good athletes, when it comes to the table, like that's definitely a talking point, because who knows what it'll be like by the time if we have kids, what that looks like. But if they're talking about like, yo, Andrew, I want we want your son over here, and we can give him $1 million now. That's almost like take him.
Right.
Do you want me? You might say, do you want me over there too? Like,
right.
He's going.
Can I get a +1?
He's going. Yeah, facts. If you need me on the bench too, coach, I'm there with you.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think my parents did a real good job of like creating this support system for me that was always telling me the truth and giving me what I needed to hear. Like it was never just like lies and feeding me BS. Like my parents were very realistic with me and gave me like the honest truth. And so I'm blessed that I had such a great support circle. But in saying that, I think, if a school were to offer me an NIL and say like, a couple $100,000, it'd be hard to turn that down.
Facts.
Even the kids now, like, like for example, like Drew Timmy's going back to college. Like who knows if he would have been drafted or not drafted? He probably would have gotten a good shot because of his college career. But all the money he's making at Gonzaga, like it's almost dumb to like get as much as you can while you're there. Man. Get your master's, like just prepare yourself for like whatever's next. Literally. So definitely a whole different ball game, bro. It makes me feel old, like thinking like when we was in college, we couldn't even get bagels with cream cheese, and now like kids are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Man, bro, it's something else. Even crazy, even like you mentioned, Drew Timme, Oscar Tshiebwe this past year, he won National Player of the Year and came back to Kentucky. They said he got like $2 million, bro.
Yeah,
like, oh, $2 million.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
what?
Kids are going back.
Kentucky, like you know what I'm saying? It's Kentucky. This ain't like, bro. You really having it out there, bro. Like you seen even like the women's basketball players, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese. She got getting a G-Wagon.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really different out here, bro. Like
you got I feel like as a men's player, you gotta know like I'm getting drafted.
Right.
That to me, like no matter where I am, if I'm getting 100,000 plus, I gotta know I'm a lottery picker. Like I'm getting first round. Like I gotta know I'm getting drafted. Because why would I leave before graduating if I'm getting all this money? Like I have to know for a fact, like it's guaranteed I'm getting picked. Because if I'm like, it's like maybe undrafted second round, I'm just going back. Sorry, don't even worry about it. I'm going back.
Hey, I ain't even testing the waters. I didn't even go testing.
I'm going back. Don't even worry about me, coach. I'm coming back.
Man, I couldn't have said it better myself, bro. I think a lot of players can learn from that nowadays, man. It's like dudes tricking themselves out their position, trying to rush to the league or the G League, and that G League salary don't add up.
No, the G League salary is not the same.
If you're not on Exhibit 10 or a two-way, that regular G League salary don't add up to what you can make in college.
It's not
my guy, bro. It just don't.
I really want kids to understand, like, a lot of kids will say, like, oh, I don't like school, or school's not for me, blah, blah. College really is and can be, like, it not really is, but it can be some of the best years of your life, bro, if you make it how you want it, if you use it right? A lot of kids are, like, so rushed to be like, I want to be a pro, like, all this stuff. Like you said, if you don't know, like, teams want you and you're not an Exhibit 10 or a two-way, the G League can really be treacherous. The G League can really be like a grinded out, every man for himself type of league, bro. Like my first year when I was in the G League for like 5 months, bro, that first month, like before I found my footing was tough because you're in a new situation. You're not making no money. But it's real, like you making little money. And then like when you play, like the play style is so like everyone trying to get that call up. Like you're not the only one trying to get called up. So like if you open and somebody else open, but that person with the ball is shooting. Just know, like, ain't no like, oh, here's an extra pass, bro. It's a whole lot of gunning going on in the G League. Some teams don't even care about winning. So it's different sometimes. Like you definitely gotta have a good amount of mental toughness and belief in yourself if that's the route you're gonna take.
Legit. Yo, it's so crazy you say that, man, because we had James Palmer on a podcast like 2 weeks, played at Nebraska and did the G League, the LA Clippers G League, and so now he's over in France. And this is literally his quote.
James is my man.
Oh,
I just talked to James today.
Yes, sir. That's my guy, man. He from the DMV too, man. He came out the same time he did. Literally, he was like, man, the COVID summer hit. He did the G League for the first 2 years. He said, Kobe, he was like, man, you know how Jay's talking that, man, I need some bread. I need some bread.
Yeah.
That little 35,000, no compare to 120.
It's not doing nothing.
200,000.
Not doing nothing.
And I'm like, man, like if you think about it, like, I think a lot of guys just think that they're gonna go to the G League and it's like
and blow up.
Yeah, but it's like, man, like I tell people this all the time, bro. Guys come out of college, because at the end of the day, number one, It's a lot of politics that go on with the G League, you know.
A lot.
And it's like legitimately.
And you probably even see it more now that your brother really is working with the NBA organization.
Yeah, it's like, man, you got agents and all this type of stuff, guys that were drafted that are going to play regardless. If you're not on a 10 or a two-way, it doesn't make any sense for you to be in the G League. Like, it makes more sense to overseas, make some money, it's going to be untaxed, and you can actually have the opportunity to play, man, because you got the Exhibit 10s, you got the two-ways, then you might got the NBA assignment guys
that might come down,
rehab injury. Oh, yeah, go rehab. So it's like the minutes are sporadic. You played in Lakeland, and you talked about it a little bit just now, but just talk about a little bit about the dynamics of being in the G League. And, you know, you were able to eventually sign a two-way with the Magic and stuff, so you were able to have a little bit more stain in your resume. But talk about that G League grind, man, and kind of some of that stuff that really goes on. People who think they're just going to walk into the G League and play 20 minutes a game and stuff like that and not understand that
that's not happening.
That exists in the G League.
Bro, so let me tell you the whole process, right? So when I was coming out of college, you know, I had a good amount of buzz around me. You know, my last year, I had bad tendonitis in my knee. And I told, you know, so when we was coming out, like that last year was the first year you could sign an agent in season, and it wasn't a penalty. And so I was coming out and I started having bad tendonitis, but I was playing really, really well up until that point. And so agents were hitting on my dad and trying to talk to me and saying, like, if you like don't shut it down, you just shut it down and you're ready for like workouts and stuff. I told my coach that, and you know how college coaches are, they were kind of like, play, like you got to just play, you know. Because at the end of the day, like everyone got their own individualistic things. Like, so I played and didn't play well because I'm on one leg. I went to all the draft stuff, went to Portsmouth, went to these different camps, had my workouts, and did well in all the workouts. You know, had some workouts where I was like, oh yeah, they don't want me. I did not shoot the ball well here. And then had some workouts like, hey, they need me for real. Right. So it's definitely funny how that sliding scale goes. Go to the draft, go undrafted, and was, you know, super disappointed. But then, you know, immediately got calls from teams in Orlando, which is really funny because I felt like I had my worst workout in Orlando. Because when I was in Orlando, I had a workout with almost all point guards. It was like 4 point guards and a wing, and then me. And so all of our stuff was like one-on-one, full court, one-on-one. Like, bro, I'm playing against like Jalen Adams. Who else was there?
Which one? Bonnie's is from UConn.
UConn.
Okay.
Jalen Adams. This guard from San Francisco who plays on the Warriors G League team now. Ty Jerome. Josh Reeves. It's like all super athletic, like quick people. Ty Jerome ain't quick. He's like a skill, you know, like bigger point guard. Yeah, like, bro, I only played point guard in college 1 year. Like, I'm not a point guard. I'm like a wing. Right. It just ain't for me. Like, I ain't like, you know, making reads off ball screens. Yeah, I'm not doing it yet. You know what I'm saying? And so I would tell my agent, like, not the Magic. It's not going to be the Magic. Right. And it's funny that they were like they were the main ones saying, like, no, bring him to training camp. Like, you want to give him an honest shot. So went to training camp, didn't make the team after preseason and all that. Got the Exhibit 10, like you said. Then with the G League, and bro, it was so funny to me because in the G League, you know, like I feel like I'm killing, doing my thing in the preseason. We get to the games and then you add two ways. Yep. And we got an assignment guy. And it's like, bro, they're playing no matter what. Right. They can go 0 for 15. They got to play. Like, because the main team wants to see them, like, progress. So they got to play. And on top of that, then it's the hierarchy of, like, all right, if they sub out or the other two spots, it's like the Exhibit 10s are going in there. So, like, if you don't got an Exhibit 10 and you just trying to make the team, like, you got to play so well and you got to be so mentally, like, sharp. Because when you do get your opportunity, you got to nail it. Like, you can't have a bad day. Right. You can for real, but you know what I'm saying? Like, when you get the opportunity, you got to show, oh, like, you know, maybe we need to give, you know, you got to nail it. And so my first couple of games with the Magic, like, I feel like I'm getting played out of position. Now I feel like they don't really know how to use me. And I remember very distinctly, and I feel like this changed my whole career. We play the Canton Charge. And our big man had a really bad game, and our coach was like, F it. Vic, go out there at 5. We just going to play small. It's my first time for real playing 5. and we're playing against Marquise Bolden and Dean Wade, and they killed us. So we go and film, and like my coach is letting me have it. Like, you're not being tough. I need you to just be a role guy. Like, you just need to like be a glue guy. You just need to like, play a role. Like, I don't need you to do that. And it's crazy because I really feel like I'm like the best on the team, or like one of the best on the team. Definitely one of the most talented without a question.
Right.
And so, bro, I just challenge him. I'm like, because like I said, I'm from Chicago. Like, you're not going to tell me like what I am and what I'm not. I'm not dumb. Like, I know I'm a circle that fits into a circle. Like, I ain't trying to be no square, trying to be a triangle, bro. I know what I am. And so I just, bro, I'm like, I stand up, and I'm not disrespectful to coaches. Like, that's not who I am. I'm just not going to, you're not going to talk to me no type of way. So I just tell him, like, bro, no, you know what? You clearly don't know what you got. You could trade me for real. Because, like, at the end of the day, like, this I'm better than this. So, like, no. And what's crazy is, like, he got me so hot, bro. And to this day, like, Anthony Parker, Johnny Taylor, Tunji Adedipe are, like, she are, like, my, like, boys. Like, Anthony Parker's, like, a mentor to me. And they see me, like, fuming leaving the film session. And, like, this is why Lakeland Magic I feel like are such a top-notch organization. Not many GMs are going, like, Anthony Parker's GM of the team at the time. Him and Tunji Adedipe are going to take me into their room and just say, what's wrong? And, bro, I'm cursing them out. I'm, like, letting them have it. Like, like, man, this ain't right, man. F this, F that. And it's like, look, man, calm down. Like, we know you're good. But at the end of the day, like, there's a hierarchy. Like, you're a smart dude. Like, like, this is what it is. But when you get to opportunities, like, you got to nail it. Like, you really got to do it. And they're like, and at the end of the day, they were like, look, if you really think you're a good basketball player, if you're making shots, getting steals, rebounding, no one's going to take you out. Like, and so at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of people who go 0 for 5, but then blame the coach saying, like, I ain't getting the right looks. You're not using me the right way. Like, how am I supposed to get my rhythm? But if you 5 for 5, you probably going to stay out there, right? And so I really just put my head down and grind it. Like, really just grind it. And from then on, like, I took off. Like, I just saw my play, like, just go up and up and up. And even as an Exhibit 10, like, I went to start lineup, played 32 minutes a game, like, really, like, taking off. And that season of G League, I want to say I shot 50, 40, 90. I went from them first, like, 6, 7 games, like, 8 points a game, to then averaging 28 and 4 on 50, 40, 90, making third team all G League as a rookie. And getting a two-way, like, it was really, like, a really good, like, come-up story, and showed, like, bro, this all work. Like, yeah, I'm talented, but this is really all work. I could have just as easily said, like, I'm out. Like, forget this. Like, I don't need this. I'm out. And so, I don't know. That whole Lakeland thing was a blessing, bro. Like, being able to play with those guys. I also love that team. Like, I keep in touch with a lot of my teammates. I talk to the old coaches. The coach that I got the argument with, like, I would buy him a drink. Like, we're super close to a lot of those guys. And I still talk to Anthony Parker and the assistant GM all the time, man.
So, Dan, I want to kind of expound upon that a little more. You said that, like, that moment kind of changed your career, just like that was kind of like the pivot point, right? So, my question is, like, what changed? Like, was it you buying into a role? Was it you saying, like, all right, this is where I can kind of fit into the team? Was it like you putting in more work in the gym, just locking into your craft? Was it like you playing with more confidence? Was it you changed position, started playing on the wing a little more? Like, what do you think happened in that time to where you were able to kind of see that shift in your game and your trajectory change?
For sure. So I think the first part, bro, right? I'm a firm believer of you're going to play better if you're comfortable. Like, you just naturally going to play better if you're comfortable. And I think just me, like, I'm super fiery and competitive. Like, I'm pretty blunt. Like, I ain't going to hold back. If I trust you, I trust you. Like, I'm not one to lie or nothing. But after that meeting, like, when I just knew, like, I could, like, really be myself, and, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I pretty much cursed them out. And, like, knowing, like, they were like, no, we know you're good. Like, just knowing they had my back, kind of. After that, like, knowing I had to trust I could be kind of comfortable being me. After that, yeah, like, my work ethic always been good, but I feel like I switched it into a different gear of, like, I'm just really about to put my head down and get to work. I'm gonna, like, grind this out. And me and my assistant coach got real close. We were hitting the gym, strength coach all the time, bro. Like, late hours, we in there working. Like, we in there fixing the mechanics of my jump shot. Like, we working on ball handling. Just, like, everything. Because I feel like my game is I'm like all around player. Like I can score really well. Like my team needs me to score, I can do that. But I'm not gonna say I'm just a scorer, right? Like I'm not someone who just like if I'm not scoring, I'm doing nothing else. Like I'm a two-way player. And so like we just got to work on everything, man. I'm playing my assistant coach one-on-ones like almost every day. We just like grind it. And then because me and my teammates are so close, like I'm starting to bring other guys in. And I'm like, yeah, like we all get like we gonna just get better, bro. Like we all gonna grind this out. And like every game you would see it just started changing. Like one game it was 15 points, next game 18 points, like 20, 26, 28. Like, and then like once you start seeing the work, like build, like the work should give you confidence, right? You shouldn't get confidence from the shots. Like that's cool. But the work that you put in should really give you confidence that you can do what you put your mind to. Then when you see the work paying off, that just validates it. That's just like, oh yeah, like this is we already knew this. Like we knew like this is what we were capable of. And so, bro, it was just so much stuff. Like, and then what really just made me think like, yeah, like I'm on a different like no one can guard me. Like I'm on a different level. It was when we played the best team in the league on Christmas on a back-to-back. The Wisconsin hurt. And like I said, I'm kind of all-around player. With them two games, like I had 40 the first game and then 33 to say like on back-to-backs against the best team, best defense in the league. And so after them two games, I think my mindset was really just like the sky's the limit. Like I really, we really do this. We knew we did this, but like now we know, like, we should never go into a game thinking like, oh, maybe I should have not. Like we know whatever decision you make is the right decision. And just I feel like that's how every player should think. But obviously there's a ton of variables like your coach, your environment, like are you happy? Like are you making shots? Like a ton of stuff that can go into that. Like, but right now I'm just in the headspace like whatever decision I make is the right decision. And I know it's the right decision because I'm putting the work, like I watch film, like I'm doing the right stuff. Like, so I don't know, bro. Like the whole G League season and that meeting for sure, turning point. Because like I said, I could have really just been like, I don't need this. Like trade me, I quit. Which a lot of people I feel like do nowadays. Like they're like, as soon as something get hard, they're like, I'm leaving. I'm just gonna do something else. And I'm proud of myself. I really like got to work. I'm talking about work out in the morning. I'm coming back at 9 p.m. that night. We working out for another hour. Practice the next day. Like we doing it. Like I'm making sure that no one is outworking me. And I'm getting in there because I know how good I am. I know where I'm supposed to be.
That's amazing, bro. That's amazing, man. I think that's a testament to just your mindset, your work ethic, and just what it takes to really play at the highest level. You talk about being able to play at the highest level, and that work was able to kind of turn into an opportunity where you talk about you signed two-way with the Orlando Magic, eventually get the call up, right? And you make it to with the Orlando Magic, man, and you go to the bubble with the team. You're playing the playoff series in the bubble with the Magic.
Yeah.
Talk about what it was like just being able to realize that dream, man, and actually suit up in the NBA game, play with the Magic, man, just had that moment where all that work, right? You're talking about playing center in the G League and coach like, man, you got to buy into a role and just be a glue guy and turn it around and having to grind through the G League, right? And then you finally make it to that pinnacle, where you reach the goal of making the league. Like, what was that moment like? And what was that experience like for you?
Bro, it was awesome, man. Like, get in there and putting the jersey on and seeing my name on the locker. It was awesome. And the Magic, when I was on the team, even now, like, they had a really young team. And so, like, all the guys around my age, so we met pretty cool. Like, I made a ton of friends and it was good dudes, right? And so we had a lot of shared experiences. We were right around the same age. And so I felt like when I got there, it was just like an easy transition, right? Like I feel like guys were trying to help. Obviously, it was kind of tough, like trying to carve my way. Because again, the NBA is a very much a what have you done for me lately type of league. And so until I proved to like the coaches and assistant coaches that like, oh, you are good. Like it was a grind. Really trying to like, get extra work and like allow them to give me their time. But man, that didn't deter me. NBA was incredible, bro. Like being able to get stuff on the court with some of those guys, see some of the guys. I got two really good stories that I will share. I got a ton of stories. Two really good ones that I'll share on the pod. First one was we played the Spurs in the preseason. And my coach was like, Vic, you gonna play this game? And we're doing layup lines, right? Like I'm in the pack too. Doing layup lines and for whatever reason, as a kid, LaMarcus Aldridge was always one of my favorite players. Like when he was on the Blazers, I always thought Aldridge was a killer. Like I love that fadeaway, that turnaround. I always saw it, bro. And so I make my layup, and I'm going back to the back of the line, shaking hands. Aldridge is coming right back at the same time. I most NBA players, like, you don't know how big they are until you stand like right next to him. It's a whole lot of sneaky tall guys in the NBA. And I don't think Aldridge is a sneaky tall guy, but bro, he like legit 7 feet, like really like getting right next to him. And it was dope, bro. Like when I went to the back of the line, like when I got to half court, he was like, and so we dapped up. And in my head, that was my first moment, like, damn, that's the Marcus Aldridge, you know what I'm saying? And it's so funny because I usually don't get like that, but it was just in my head, like that moment, I'm like, bro, that was a Marcus Aldridge. Yeah. And so it's funny because even when I checked in the game, bro, because I think they had, I'm not sure who their center was, but Aldridge was in it. I think on a switch, I got switched on Aldridge, and he faced up, and he turned to look, and he started laughing. I think he was like, I'm not really about to just bury you. And he kicked it back out, bro. And I was laughing with him, just like, yeah, go ahead, kick that back out, bro. Because I'm gonna have to foul you. You get down here. For sure, gonna have to foul you. You get down here.
Good man, right there.
So,
you look out, good man.
So I was like, yeah. There you go, pass that back out, LA. Bro, so it was so cool. And then this story is actually wild, bro. So we're playing, and again, in the G League. And for everybody listening, and when we're playing in the G League, this is what you got to do. We went on them classic G League road trips, bro. So we drove to Atlanta, bus to Atlanta, flew to Toronto, economy, flew to Cleveland, drove to DC, and then drove up to North Carolina on this road trip, bro, like 10 days type deal. We get to Greensboro, we play Greensboro. That night, the Magic are like, because I hadn't been called up yet, but I had signed to him. That night, the Magic are like, all right, send Vic tomorrow back to Orlando because he gonna play. So I've been on the road trip, but the Magic are like, send him down. And we had a call assignment guy with us, Melvin Frazier. And so they're like, all right, what time do y'all want him down there? And they're like, on the earliest flight, get him back to Orlando. So bro, the game finished at like 9. Our flights are like 6 a.m. Get back, go to sleep, wake up. We fly out of Greensboro, I want to say. We got to fly to New York, then back down to Orlando. I don't know why that's how the connecting flight works.
Greensboro.
That's how we had to do it. Say it again.
I said Greensboro is weird like that, bro. It's always some weird connecting flights. Like,
yeah. So we had to go up to come back down. So let's say the Magic wanted us there by 11.
Right.
We get to New York at like 7:30. The flight from New York is at 7:45 to Orlando. So, bro, we landed like 7:38, and the gate is on the other side of the airport, bro. It's not like an easy like. So we get off, bro. Me and Melvin got to sprint through the airport to try and get to our gate. We're like, bro, we're the last 2 passengers to get on before they close the doors. We finally make it. Get to Orlando. They lost all, like, our bags they don't got them. They were still in Greensboro or something, like they don't got them. So we called up the lady because her name was Becky Bonner, who's like the, logistics person for Magic. Player operations, basically. And so she's like, Vic, you're not going to dress. I tell her, like, well, I don't got none of my stuff. Like, I don't got nothing. So, like, she was like, all right, well, we'll try to figure something out. Like, NBA teams, huge budgets. They usually figure it out. I was like, I don't got nothing except my basketball shoes, my book bag, for real. Like, I don't got nothing else. She's like, all right, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. Whatever. So, like, the plan was I get there and, like, you just learn the offense. Like, you learn the ins and outs. Most G League teams run the same offense, so it's not that hard. I ran the Princeton in college, so I'm like really smart basketball, so I wasn't worried about the offense. But it's like you just gonna learn, like it's the first day up, like it's happy to have you here, blah blah blah. So we land, we rush into the gym because we gotta get the shoot around. And so amongst all this chaos, we get to the gym, and like I'm happy to see everybody again from preseason, training camp, everything, trying to dap everybody up. Like everyone's walking around the arena like zombies, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? Bro, everybody, ain't nobody showing love. Like, I mean, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it, but damn. You know, I thought this was going to be, smooth me coming back. Bro, I get to Terrence Ross, and he, like, in tears. I'm like, bro, what is going on with y'all? And he like, bro, Kobe Bryant just died. And I'm like, no, bro. All right, all right, it's the joke. All right, guys. But, let's go ahead and mess with the rookie on his first day up. He's like, nah, bro, Kobe Bryant just died. And me or Melvin didn't know none of that or couldn't get our phones because we was in such a, like, goose chase, bro, with all the airports running around and stuff. We hadn't heard nothing. So then the coach calls an emergency meeting quick and, like, says that everybody's in tears. And I'm just so, like, bro, like, it's so just crazy. Like, what are the odds, like, that this legend and, like, this person dies on, like, this crazy helicopter crash? And, like, today, like, it's just nuts to me. And we were playing the Clippers, actually. And the game was supposed to get canceled, but Doc Rivers is the one saying, like, nah, Kobe will want us to play. And so it's wild. Just that whole day was just like a whole black mark on the day and, like, the whole year, I feel like. But it's crazy because the coach is like, he sees me there. He's like, you know what? Vic, you're going to play tonight. And so I'm like, bro, today is just too much for me, man. So I get out there. I played like the last 3 minutes. Get a couple rebounds. But it was nuts. That game, too, Kawhi had like 37, and he only missed like 2 shots. And he put on a clinic. And it was nuts, bro. Like, I saw it was nuts. Being that close to, like, being on a watch and see those guys. Bro, it was crazy. Like, that whole day was crazy, bro.
Man, that's a hell of a story, man. Like, first of all, just the range of emotions going from scrambling through the airport to figuring out Kobe passed. Obviously, it's like, oh, you're not going to play.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're going to play. Like,
now you're going to play. Yeah.
It's crazy having to just flip that switch, man. Like, when you look back on, like, that day, man, you shooting up and stuff like that, like, what was the pulse around the team trying to prepare for a game, man? Like, the other guys in the locker room after having that news, I know as a fan, I'm watching, I'm like, man, imagine having to play a game right now, man. You see the montage, they showing dudes in tears, trying to on the bench. Like, what was the morale around the team? How did you guys kind of prepare for that game? And just what was the vibe of the locker room trying to actually go out there and prepare for an NBA game?
Bro, it just felt super low for real. Like, it felt like everyone's big brother had just died. Like, that's how it felt like everyone had a close family member just passed. And so, like I said, like, around the league, like, a lot of guys, like, were like, we don't want to play. And that was even the sentiment on some of the guys on our team, like, we don't want to play. Like, it would be disrespectful to play. And so, to me, I was just, to me, I feel like I ain't have a say. I'm just like, this is crazy, I'm still in shock, really. Like, I'm just like, what I say really don't matter anyway. If we play, we play. If we don't, like, we don't. Like, this is nuts. And Doc, I guess, had a meeting with Steve Clifford, was like, I want to play. I think Kobe would have wanted us to play. So, I don't know, bro, but everybody was like, we didn't even really have a proper shoot around for real because, like, it just, everything was so nuts. Like, and I feel like half the organization felt like we weren't going to play. So, they didn't even know, should we have the shoot around? Should we just relax? Like, what's going on? So, I don't even know, man. Like, it was crazy for real.
And then kind of going into that time in the bubble, we had BJ Johnson on the podcast during the bubble with you guys. This kind of talking about experience. What was that like for you, man? Just going into that experience in the bubble. I feel like everybody has like 2 separate experiences with the bubble. Either it was like, oh yeah, like I hated it. It was trash, this and that, or it was like, it wasn't really that bad. It was like a grown man AU tournament type of vibe. Like,
right.
What was your experience like in the bubble? Having to go down there and, play, but then having to, the whole world kind of just on pause, while this is happening with the COVID stuff. And then obviously also that was going on with the, Black Lives Matter movement and all that kind of stuff. What was that whole situation like? Was that the year that the Bucks set out in a game?
That was against us.
Oh, versus y'all.
Yeah, that was against us. When we went out to warm up and they didn't even come out.
Yeah, bro. What? Okay, talk me through that because that is like a wild. I feel like for able to just pull up, nobody in the league knew that they were going to do that.
No one knew anything. No one knew anything, bro.
So what happened?
It was bro. So it was like, what was that guy's name?
Jacob Blake.
Jacob Blake. So what happened, right? and it was miss everything. And I guess the Bucks and a lot of the other prominent figures around the Milwaukee area were like, "Are y'all gonna say anything? Are y'all gonna stand up for this?" And it was I forget if it was game 2 or game 3, but they just didn't show up, bro. Like we go out there,
Listen,
our
never
coach
to
was like,
y'all.
this
It's anything to y'all.
nothing to anybody, bro. So we go out there and we're warming up, we're doing our whole routine, bro. And I'm supposed to play this game, so I'm doing a lot of like true routine with my coach. Dead sweat, bro. Like everyone's like getting ready for the game. And the NBA officials come out basically like, because they don't come out, like nobody says nothing until like 5 minutes on the game clock for the game to start. NBA officials come out and they're like, yeah, the Bucks aren't going to play today. And so our immediate reaction was like, is this going to be a forfeit? Like, what's going to happen?
Right.
Yeah. And so they were like, nah, we're going to figure it all out. And the bubble was basically hoops, in your room, golf, and meetings, bro. There were so many NBA and NBPA meetings and stuff about because people didn't think that the season was gonna go on, right? Because everyone was thinking like, because the new CBA needed to be signed or postponed or like something, a new agreement needed to be made. There might be a new CBA this year too, which is gonna be crazy. Like, I think a lot of people aren't really are underrating how big this new CBA is gonna change things. But when I was in the bubble, CBA was like the owners were mad because all these games have been canceled because of COVID, right? Like nobody was prepared for COVID.
Right.
COVID kind of messed up everything for a lot of people. And so when all the games got canceled, the owners like they didn't fine the players, but like they withheld from the salary for real. So when the bubble happened, like there was supposed to be some agreement like where the players get some of their money back. 2 ways. And all of this versus got screwed over. Like they were like, y'all get to go. But if we owe y'all money, like y'all are gonna just get this like fixed rate of money. Even if we owe you more, like whatever, usually it's just fixed rate.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't really stressing about the money. But like that was just like the state of the NBA. And so most of the meetings, it was like, do y'all want to continue to play or do y'all just want to end it right here? And so when the Bucks sat out, that was the biggest meeting. Like they came in and they were like, do y'all just want to cancel this whole bubble thing? Or do you want to play? Like, are you willing to continue? And a lot of people were just like, yeah, no, you can. Half the teams were like, cancel it. Like we don't want to be in this. Another half was like, no, we want to play. Like we still want to win the championship. So I remember we went around like all the teams in a circle. We went around there like talk to your teams in like small groups and vote if you want to play or not. And bro, it's so funny. Some teams are like, no. Some teams are like, yeah. Like the Lakers say no. And then the Portland Trailblazers are like, yeah, we want to play. And then LeBron stands up and he's like, oh man, no, hell no. Cause if he was like, because he's like, y'all just not gonna get the win if we don't play, you know. Because Portland's like, we'll keep playing. Like, if they don't want to play, we'll move on.
Right.
LeBron was like, man, no way. Basically, like, if we stop, like, everybody got to stop.
Right.
That's kind of the tone of how he's saying it. Like, if we stop, everyone is stopping. Because the Bucks said no. The Clippers were like, we don't got to play. I want to say the Nuggets said yes. We're going around. I forget what the Celtics said. Like, we're going around, and everyone was kind of talking about it. And it was just weird. And then, like, the lady talking about, all right, if y'all don't play, this is how much money y'all are going to lose. Just going to let that out. Right now, y'all are losing this much money. And so then it turned into a whole nother argument, bro. That meeting was like 3 hours, bro. To the whole other argument, like, some of the older veterans, like the smarter guys, like J.R. Smith, Melo stood up, David Lillard. Some of the older guys were like, look, a lot of us older veterans, it don't matter if we don't play because, like, we got money. Like, we got our stuff saved up. We got passive income. But, like, the 1-year deal guys, the vet minimum, the rookies, the 2 ways, like, y'all are really going to get fucked by this if we stop. So, like, we should figure it out. Like, we can't be selfish and just say, yeah, we're not going to play. And then leave out, like, you know, if NBA team 15 people, the bottom 4, like, really going to get kind of screwed over. So it's like we don't want to, like, screw over some of our players. Then it became this whole financial thing, bro. And all in all, like the bubble was cool. Like it was cool that we got to hang by the pool with like some of our favorite players and like chill, just like we had a job for real. Cause it is a job, but you know what I'm saying? Like we just chilling. Like we go to work, go back to our room, golf, bowl, pool, eat. Like you just seeing everybody. Like I remember, I had two of my graduate assistants and managers from Northwestern were working with the NBA, helping in the bubble, and the teams were split up in like 3 different resorts. And so we were in the middle resort. My friends stayed at the top resort, and there was this really good Mexican restaurant there that a lot of people went to on the water. And so we went one day just to catch up and like laugh and joke about like, look at us, like who would have thought we would have been here? And like Kawhi and Paul George are like at the table, like right next to us, bro. And it's just like we're laughing, like just this is so like what other environment are you gonna get stuff like this, right? It was just cool, like being out there and like hanging out and then playing, like right, like I got some of my best NBA experience in the bubble. I got to play in games, like I played in 2 playoff games, you know, like it's just cool being able to play and like do stuff.
That's dope, man.
But all in all, it was some cons now. Like we were hooping and then going in our room for like it almost felt like you were like quarantined for a little bit. So, you know, we were there for like 2.5, 3 months, bro. That was a long time.
That's hectic. That's hectic, man. I'm gonna come back to this a little later, man, but I want to kind of switch gears a little bit. And after the bubble, you kind of go and you play in the NBL, you know, and again, like from a pro hooper standpoint, from outside looking in, man, I look at the NBL. We had one of my homies, I think you know Justin Robertson, that played Tech. Yeah. So we had a podcast a couple months ago, man. He played in Australia this year for Adelaide.
Towards meniscus.
Yeah, toward meniscus, so he didn't end up getting the
Man, he played for Illawarra, bro.
Oh, Illawarra, I'm tripping.
Look at this. That's crazy.
Like, yeah. You know what's crazy? My homies from Adelaide, though. My homies from Quinnipiac. That's why I got confused. But yeah, so Illawarra this year, and I feel like when I look at the NBL, bro, Justin Simon, another guy, one of my boys, played for Sydney Kings. Jalen Adams that went to Bonnies. He's a Maryland.
Yeah.
Played for Sydney Kings last year when they won the MVP. And I look at the NBL, it's like, bro, it's crazy. Number one, the media coverage that the league gets. I feel like they do a great job. You got some NBA size arenas. You mentioned Illawarra. Melo Ball was over there. Guys, NBA from the league. Just talking about your time in Australia, man. Just like you played two seasons there. What was the experience like over there? What was the basketball like over there? Did you get that whole just experience playing in the NBL?
The NBL was a really good experience. I think the NBL is a good league. Like I think it really has a lot of good players. They just can't pay any money because the NBL has such a stringent salary cap. Like the NBL, I want to say the LNB French's League next year is going to have a salary cap because of Monaco, and the NBA have a salary cap. France. I was following the Eurobasket's page, and they just wrote an article about how French teams were complaining that Monaco was paying like they had an unfair advantage because they can pay way more money than other people.
Right.
And so they're implementing a salary cap for next season.
Bro, I thought
NBL like they can't.
That's crazy. Man, Asvel, you got Asvel over there. You got Paris basketball. Yeah, they got money over there. It's not about complaining about Monaco. That's story for another day. But I don't want to.
But basically, like the NBL is a really good league, right? The NBL has a ton of pros.
Yeah.
Like you're in basically America. Like you're in a very laid back tropical version of America. People speak English. Like a lot of their stuff is similar to America. So like you can be very comfortable there. The season only like 5.5, 6 months through. You only play 30 games. So like, if you coming from Europe, college, like it's not as difficult as like some of these other Japan. It's not as difficult as like playing here where you play forever.
Right.
They pay on time, like, and the hoop's good. So like, there's a ton of pros. The cons being you can't really make that much money. But in terms of like talent, the NBL does do a good job of like getting good players and trying to find like people that want to be in Australia, that like it there. Because like you can really get comfortable there and like you still make good money. It's just like it's not as much as you can make other places. The thing I think Australia lacks though, I think Australia is still in this like early phases of growth. And I think Australia still needs to do a lot of stuff like in terms of like resources and stuff for certain teams. Like when I was on the Brisbane Bullets, like bro, our trainer was part-time. So like we barely saw him. And so like it's still growing. Like I think the NBL is good. It's just it's still, it's growing.
Yep. Now, I want on an off the court perspective, how would you compare the NBL to playing in Japan and living in Japan? Because John Mooney was also in Australia before, right? Last year.
Yeah, Perth.
Yep. You guys both came over to Japan this year with Chiba, but how would you compare?
John was actually in Chiba last year too. John was in Perth 2 years ago. So John, this is John's second season with Chiba.
Okay, bet. So how would you compare, like, I guess both on and off the court, like Australia to Japan from a basketball perspective, and then from a living perspective also? Because I feel like Australia is a place where, like you said, I never hear any complaints about off the court life in Australia. People enjoy it there. It's kind of similar vibes in here in Japan. People always say, the money's on time. People are kind and stuff like that. So how would you compare just the experiences in the NBL compared to playing in Japan?
I think the NBL is cool, man. Like it's definitely way more laid back, and I would say more things to do there, just because there's no language barrier, and more things are westernized there. Obviously in Asia it's different. Like you're in the East here, you have to deal with Eastern culture, but like in Australia, it's just much more stuff is like comparable to what you're used to,
right?
And so it's a very easy transition. Practice is pretty light for the most part. Some teams practice really hard, but the teams I've been on, it's not like crazy. You go get good hoop. Teammates are cool. I'm not saying teammates aren't cool in Japan. It's just you're playing 60 to 65 games. So it's a whole different ball game. The language barrier. If you're not near a big city, it can kind of get tough from what I've heard. Because like people really won't speak English, or they're like in Japan, people are shy. And so they won't like try to like come outside their comfort zone to help. Just like I don't know, just when I look around Japan, it's just different. Like, it's just like this. This not America. Like, it's just very different. Like looking outside.
Damn.
Yeah,
for real.
Right. Like the way the apartments are set up. If you stay at a hotel, like the room size, like different stuff, bro. Like it's just different. Food. So like Australia definitely has some perks that like if you're trying to get or show that in America you can be comfortable here, you definitely can. But at the end of the day, like you're only there for 5 months, and so if a person is really trying to like play or like they don't want that much time at home, then it may not be for you. But I enjoyed Australia, man. I think Australia is definitely like a cool place to be. I think it's nice to live there. Definitely a good place I want to visit again. But Japan's just different. Japan is a different vibe. Like being near Tokyo, it's always good that I can go down to Tokyo and see it and stuff. But even the same way, like it's just different. Like, for example, our PlayStation just broke. I need to figure out where I can go to fix it.
Right.
But like I'm in Japan, like I have no idea where to fix it. And I'm kind of scared to go to the store and just say like, I have to put in my Google Translate, like, do you fix PlayStation?
Right.
Like in Australia, I just know like it says electronics store, and I can go in there and be like, do y'all fix PlayStations? No. All right, let me just go to the next place. Here it's kind of different. Like I really don't even know like if a store does electronics until I go in it. For real. So it's just different, different stuff, but you get used to it. Like, I think Japan's cool. Like the play style is different. I think in Australia, the speed of the game is much faster. The physicality from top to bottom is more in Australia. But just from a big standpoint, it's more physical here. And I think that's just because Australian people are bigger than Japanese people.
Right.
And in Australia, you can play all your Americans at once. Like you don't have to do the 2 and 1 out rule.
Yeah. That's definitely tough, man. I had that same issue, man. With my Mac to this day, bro. Like it's like I guess it overcharged. Or my battery is like full. Right. If I don't have it plugged in, it might die. So I'm like, damn, I gotta take it to the Apple store. But number one, there's no Apple store in Okayama. Number one, and number two, and if I take it to the Apple store, I gotta be like, how do I even explain what's going on? Because it's not broken. My computer's not broken, but it's like,
right. How do you say what's wrong with it? Yeah.
So I'm it's to be determined on that one, man. But finally getting into the present day, man. This year, Chiba was an absolutely historic season. You guys set the record for win percentage. I think total wins in the B League, win streak. You guys won 24 games in a row. Won the Emperor's Cup. Like And you guys had a record-setting season this year.
Absolutely.
With you guys just finished up the the championship season. You guys ended up losing to Okinawa, but you talk about this season. What you guys were able to do. How do you reflect on it? Given what you guys were able to achieve. What do you kind of take away from your first season in Japan, looking back on it?
Man, like I didn't know what to expect from coming here, right? Like I thought it's cool coming to a different country. This is gonna be my first real season overseas. I said Australia, like same language. Most of the food's the same. Like you don't really gotta deal with some of the problems other people deal with. So I felt like I was kind of interested to see how it would go. Man, but coming here, my team was real accommodating of everything. Like we became real tight knit. Like you said, everything just kind of like fell into place, right? We started winning. Once we clicked and got that chemistry, like I felt like we kind of knew we were the most talented team. And not only talented, but I feel like we were tough. We faced a lot of adversity. Like a ton of people got hurt. And even with the injuries, we were still able to win and like find ways to win. Even though it didn't end the way we wanted, like there was still a ton of positive growth that we could take from the season. Learning lessons. This is my first year in Japan. Like I felt like I got to learn and see a lot that would prepare me for, if I'm staying in Japan, like what's next. So I definitely feel like it'll be a blessing for whatever is going to come next.
Yeah. Now on this championship series, man, actually, I was able to watch a little bit of it. You hit an absolutely crazy step back three from the left wing to send game one in the overtime. Walk me through that play, man. Just like obviously you guys, were down by 2. They go to the line, make 1 or 2. I think you guys call timeout and get the inbounder. So did you guys draw that play up for you to take the shot? And then what's going through your mind? Like, I'm going to get to this certain move. Like, you know what you're going to do when you got the ball? Just, walk me through that play.
So, yeah, the play was for me really just a simple zipper cut for me to go up and get it and then, like, make a play. And I asked my coach, like, do you want me to take a 2 or is it a 3? They were like, yeah, no, go ahead and shoot that 3. Go ahead and we won it all. Like, we ain't trying to just play the free throw game. So I think I really just wanted to switch with number 9. Like, they wanted to bench guys in. And I don't think he's a bad defender. I just think, like, if we wanted to match up with anybody, like, that's what we wanted. So we wanted to switch. And once I got it, honestly, I don't know. I wasn't really trying to mess around with it. I was just trying to, like, shoot it with enough time that we get a rebound. If I miss, like, get the foul. And so I don't really think I was, like, thinking, like, step back. But he was just so close to me still, even when I drove left. I was like, I'm going to have to get a little bit further away from him to get this shot off. And I think right when when it left my hand, I knew, like, we all know, like, when we shoot one, if it leaves your hand the right way, you're like, oh, yeah, that's it. And I knew that one, like, straight out the hand, I was like, all right, that was good. So it was a great feeling. I'm happy it went in. Kind of unfortunate that, I really feel like when we got that, and then we got them to turn the ball over at the end of the first or at the end of regulation. Oh, we got the momentum. Like, we got it. Like, they're deflated.
Right.
Kudos to them. I mean, they took care of business. They weathered the storm. They kept scoring, kept getting stops. So, but, man, I was just hoping, like, once we go to overtime, like, this is a whole different game. Because we've all had those games where we've had to lead. And if they tie it by overtime, you're like, bro, I'm exhausted.
Damn.
Bro, we were supposed to finish this in 4. Like, they were not supposed to tie this game. And so I felt like I was hoping, like, man, it was going to be that kind of, like, thing. But, you live and learn, bro. Like, learning experiences. Again, I'm super proud of how we played and the things we did.
Talk about that environment, man, because I'm watching the game and that joint is, like, sold out, rocking in there. Mm-hmm. Like, the arena is crazy. Talk about the energy that was just around that game. I mean, I'm watching y'all games all year, and bro, y'all have amazing fans. I have an amazing atmosphere.
Yeah.
I love B1 games, even in Okinawa. Like, bro, the Okinawa, they have an NBA arena down there, bro. It's like ridiculous. The fans come out every game.
Yeah.
Fans really love sports here and love basketball here, and they love to, like, support their team. But just talk about the energy competing in that championship series. what it was like, playing in a game like that with all the, media attention and stuff like that. Just, what was it like, as a player?
It was dope, bro. Like going down there, the Yokohama Arena is a very nice arena. But just seeing like the Chiba's fans are great. Chiba, I feel like Chiba has one of the best fan bases in all the B League. And I feel like everybody, and I mean everybody was at this hotel because we had a hotel right by the arena. And I felt like us, Okinawa's fans, Chiba fans, everybody was at this hotel. And so it felt like, you were just getting mobbed by people, pictures, can you sign this, everything, every time you stepped in. And so it was dope, like seeing all the energy around the game. And even that first game, like just walking out and seeing the whole presentation and stuff, was just like, it just gave you chills, right? And especially for me, like it's my first championship series. Like seeing that, like it really makes you want to be like, I want to be at this. I want to get to this every year.
Right.
But it was cool, bro. Like half the arena was red, half the arena was white for Okinawa. So it was cool, bro. Like I definitely wish we could have given our fans the product they wanted, but I'm super happy that they came out and showed the love that it did.
So how do you where are you leaving now? Do you think Japan is some place you would want to come back to? Or you think like you might try to get back to Europe? I feel like this is a question I always ask the guys, man. Obviously a guy like yourself, right, who's played in the NBA, you've reached the pinnacle of basketball, right? I feel like it's always a thing where like, all right, well, do I chase the league and do I want to give that another shot? I'm 26, right now. So it's like, all right, as you're getting older, right, there's a window of like where you can kind of leave, where you can get in and where it's kind of, all right, man, I might gotta get my
figure it out
and figure that out, right? So, where are you at with that? Are you a guy who's trying to get back to the NBA and like, make that push? Are you a guy who's like, you know what? I know I can make a lot of money out here in Japan. I play on a great team. I want to kind of give it another run. Like, where are you at with, that, right? Are you trying to like get back to Europe? Because I know Europe and playing like EuroLeague and is a completely different ball game than playing in Asia as far as the demand, the travel, the culture, basketball grind, right? Like, where are you at mentally from that standpoint in, I guess, that next step in your career?
Well, I ain't never played in Europe. I went from the NBA to Australia to Asia.
Right.
And so even when I was in Australia, like a couple EuroLeague and Euro Cup teams tried to buy me out, but I said no. And everybody got their own like horror story with Europe. Like I think like a lot of guys have their like, bro, Europe ain't it. Like Europe is just, unless you really are built for Europe, it's not it. And so I haven't done Europe yet. And a part of me like wants to go to Europe and just have like in my mind, I know I can like dominate Europe. But I don't know, man. I really like Japan. Like I like Japan. I like the ball. The pay is good. So, we'll see. Like right now I'm negotiating with a ton of different teams. So we'll just see what's next. Like right now I'm taking these next couple of days to just kind of, I guess, enjoy Japan. Like I kind of want to go to Osaka and travel and like see different stuff while I'm here before I leave.
That's tough, man. Speaking of travel, man, obviously, we first met in Tokyo. I feel like that's literally my favorite city in the world that I've been to, bro. I've been to Milan, I've been to Lisbon. Obviously, I've been all over the States, LA, New York, DC. What has been your favorite thing that you've done while you've been here from like a off the court perspective? I mean, thing that you visited, tourist attraction, like what has been your favorite experience just being over here, living in Japan that you've been able to get into?
Well, I've never been to Osaka or Okinawa, which are two places that people in Japan talk about all the time. They're like cool places. But my parents came to visit me, and we went to Kyoto together for a game. And just having them in Kyoto and like walking around the like older version of Japan. We went to the 10,000 gates, which was dope. It's like having them here and doing that was cool. I've been to like an authentic Japanese market in Akasaka. So I don't know that, but like doing different stuff, I feel like has been really cool to me. I'm not. I feel like I could have done more, but shopping on the back streets of Harajuku,
Yes,
I love it. That's been cool, bro. Where I'm like at Yachio doesn't have a lot, but like going to different places and going to Tokyo, going to Kyoto, going to Sapporo, like seeing all this different culture and seeing all these different stuff is really great there.
So, if you come to Osaka, let me know, bro, because I'm only 40 minutes from the bullet train. I've been to
Osaka. For sure.
Where I'm at, Osaka is sort of like my Tokyo because it's way closer.
Yeah.
Hours for me. So
what are the things doing in Osaka?
bro. So it's tough because when I go to Osaka, it's usually just to go like have a good time, bro. So I know a bunch of restaurants, stuff like that, place to go out, have a good time at night. But Osaka has a bunch of just like Osaka is like known as the kitchen of Japan, bro. So there's like this one strip, Dotonbori, where it's just a bunch of like just street food, like restaurants, okonomiyaki. So I'm not sure if they have like two types of okonomiyaki. They got Osaka okonomiyaki, then they got Hiroshima okonomiyaki. Hiroshima okonomiyaki is the one that has like more of the noodle based. And then the Osaka okonomiyaki is like more of a pancake style. Then they got takoyaki spots down there, different foods, bro. And like Osaka, you know how Tokyo, especially if you're like Harajuku or Shinjuku, like you're like a big city, you got the billboards, the lights. Osaka has that. But Osaka is also just more of like a traditional, like throwback Japanese city to where it's not like Kyoto, where you have like the shrines and the temples, but like about the street food and like the vendors on the street selling like the different clothes and garments and stuff like that. Like you kind of get that like Japanese like street, feeling and stuff in Osaka. So it's pretty cool experience to walk around, eat the different foods. So it's definitely dope, bro. It's a cool place to visit. Come see for sure. Like I think I'll definitely highly recommend, man. If you get down here, let me know for sure.
For sure.
Okay. I want to ask you though, because have you ever been to? You mentioned Harajuku. Do you get cut by Tenru? Everybody goes to Tenru Barber. Oh man, yo, everybody.
They're good.
Yeah, it's a black dude from Brooklyn. Like it's a black dude from.
It's wait. What's the shop called? Shop Brooklyn.
I don't know what it's called, bro, but I know everybody knows about Tenru. Like, go see Tenru. Like, we went in there, LJ, we see LJ Peak in there getting cut. Sebastian and Saeed, I think, from Alvar.
Yeah.
He was in there. Evan Ravenel plays for the Chiba team. Bro, it's really like you in the States. Like, you go to the shop, you got everybody sitting on the side talking about basketball, debating or whatever.
Right.
But he in there cutting with the Yankees fitted and Timberland boots. Like,
okay.
If you want to get a cut, bro, I stop by.
You go to.
I could pass you his number, bro, because everybody probably going.
Yeah, home. Please do.
Yeah. I can give you his number, man, because he good people for sure, man.
Please send me that line.
Yeah, I got you, bro. I got you. It feels like you home for real. Like when you step in his shop, man, it's good vibes and good people's too.
Sure.
All right, favorite Japanese food, and I guess weirdest thing that you've ate being out here in Japan.
My favorite Japanese food is probably yakiniku. And the weirdest thing I've eaten that I still like is either beef heart or beef tongue. Like I don't know what it is, but I feel like I gotta get it when I go to yakiniku. Like I like it. I gave it to my dad when he came out here, and he was one of them dudes that was like, "Yeah, you didn't have to tell me what that was." Yeah. He was like, it's good. But when I told him, he was like, "Nah, it wasn't good." I said, "Nah, never mind, it wasn't good."
No facts. Bro, my teammate did the same thing. Like they bought the whole spread, and they didn't even tell me. So I'm like, all right, it's straight. Like, yeah, that was the heart. Like, bro, I ate a heart. Like, bro.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wow, man. Now
my teammate tried to get me to eat okonomiyaki because Japanese people don't really do sweet. It's more like savory here. And so he brought me out okonomiyaki, and I thought it was a pancake. And I'm like, oh yeah, let me get some of that. And I think he put like it looked like mayonnaise or something on it. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
Right.
And he was like, oh no, try it. And he opened it. It had vegetables and stuff in it. I was like, oh no, bro. Let me tell you what, if I thought that was a pancake and I would have tasted some broccoli or some shit, you know how bad I would have been. Bro, I'd have been irate.
Oh, it's definitely not sweet.
Bro, I've been thinking I'm eating a pancake, bro. I'd have been hot.
Nah, for real. So, all right, how do you what has been the thing you missed the most? Like food wise or being out here in Japan, like damn, like that they don't really have, or even if it's not food, like what's the thing you missed the most from being out here in Japan?
Right. I think I cook a lot. I actually do cook a lot. But some days, bro, when you just have a long day, I hate Uber Eats, bro. Ain't really no options, bro. It's all the same stuff. Probably like bento box, ramen, shrimp tempura. Like that's it though. You can't, and the only American option is like McDonald's, Burger King. I don't really like eating fast food, so it's kind of like, dang, I can't get no like variety. Or if I want food, I gotta go to Tokyo. Like I gotta go to 45 minutes to Tokyo. That I feel like specifically where I'm at, it's only one lane streets. There's one lane north, one lane south, one lane east. So like if somebody's turning right, you're not making the light, bro. Like you're just not gonna make the light. You're just sitting there waiting for her. So that always makes me mad. Other than that, bro, everything's pretty smooth. I feel like they designed stuff in Tokyo to just work, which is cool. I think this is like no nothing, but I feel like Japanese people are very, very like rigid. Like they have to do things a certain way,
Right.
and if it is outside of that way, it's kind of like no, we don't. For example, I'm trying to get a burger. I'm trying to burger at this place, and it's like a double. It's like a double bacon cheeseburger, and I tell her, "All right, just give me a double bacon cheeseburger by itself." And it comes. It's like a combo. It's like number like 4 type thing. She's like, "No." I'm like, it's right there. What do you give me? I was like, just give me that, but I don't want a combo. No. I said, okay, give me the combo. Don't give me the fries or drink. Okay. Bro, it's the same thing. That doesn't make no look, that doesn't make no sense. I understand like the rule would be to just get a combo.
Yeah.
But like if you can just sell me the burger, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just weird that people are like even at like late at night, like when we come back from road trips, it'll be like midnight, bro. There won't be a car or a biker in sight. If that light is red, they not walking. Like they are not going, bro.
They're not.
And I'll walk and they'll look like,
yeah.
Are you? They'll look like you like bro, like murdering somebody. And I think that's so weird.
Yo, I'm crossing the street, bro. I had the same experience in Osaka, right? So I go to this pancake spot. This is the one that I miss the most. It's a couple things. Number one is like traditional, like American breakfast. Like, if you got like, you want to get like an omelet or some hash browns, they don't have that. It's like
they don't have that. Yeah, no, they
don't have that, bro. And I love like brunch, bro. So I just love like go to an American spot and get like a brunch, get like some chicken and waffles or whatever like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hash browns with some sausage gravy or something. It's like, man.
Yeah.
That's what I miss the most.
Yeah. So
I go to the breakfast spot in Osaka, right? And it's like a pancake spot, right? So on the side, they do omelets, right? So one omelet, it's like cheese, eggs, and like mushrooms. It's like an egg and mushroom cheese omelet. That's it, right? Other omelet, it's the egg with like ham and like some tomatoes or something like that, right? Then the other omelet is like the omelet with salmon and avocado, right? So I'm like, all right, well, I kind of want the one with the peppers and the tomatoes or whatever, but I want cheese on it. So I'm like, all right, well, can you do this omelet, add cheese? You're like, no. I'm like, I have mushrooms and cheese, so I know you have omelet with cheese, but I can't.
Yeah, so you have the cheese,
Right. No, you can't add cheese. So I'm like, damn.
He's like, oh, no, man.
No, sorry.
And it's crazy, because you'll see him making it, bro, and you're like, just put the cheese on it.
Right.
Just put the cheese, that's all you gotta put the cheese on.
Bro, they having it. That's hilarious, man. That's hilarious, bro. It was Yo, it was funny too, bro. I went back to LA. It's crazy. I went back to LA, right? And one thing I love about Japan is there's no tip out here. So you go,
right?
Whatever the bill is, the bill, bro.
That's the bill, yeah.
So bad. I went back to LA. My first time eating, when they brought me.
You didn't tip?
I walked smack out. Like I paid and walked smack out. And it's crazy. Come on the FaceTime with my boy went back. I was like, yeah, bro, I got back. LA. I'm like, yo, the meal won that back. It was only like, $70, whatever for lunch. And I'm like, I'm like, wait. Damn, I did not tip. Like I was already like 30 minutes away, so I wasn't going back. LA.
Yeah. You're not going back.
I was like, damn. I know she probably looking at me crazy, bro.
Oh no, for sure. She's like, don't come back in there. But in America, it's nuts because like the tips, it's like, bro, tips now are like 18%, 20, 25, which is nuts now. Like it's gonna keep going up.
Ridiculous. Yeah. It's ridiculous, bro. And I swear I went to one restaurant in LA. It's Tess in West Hollywood. They were like on the menu. It was like, so you got gratuity, but they were like, okay, we add another, I think like 5% for our employees to have health insurance. If you would like this fee to be taken off, like tell us. But if you don't tell us, we're gonna add it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So if I see this $5, I was gonna add another 5% on my joint. Like, That's wild, man, bro.
Mm-hmm.
We can sit up
Yeah,
here
you
all
pay
day.
that money in LA.
Man, listen, listen, bro. I'm like, man, I gotta do something, get a little side hustle to live out here. It's
Right.
gas expensive, food expensive, drinks
Oh yeah.
$20
Mm-hmm.
bar for a little regular cocktail, $21.
Yeah.
Yeah, you breathe, you go out, it's $100. You even
Yeah.
man,
$100.
man, I got
How's your brother like it out there?
he enjoys it, man. Like so he's working for the Clippers, so he's kind of like Westchester area. So he's like 5 minutes from the facility, right around the corner, literally spot right by LAX. But you know how it is.
Yes.
LAX is kind of like out the way, like West Hollywood or wherever you're trying to go, bro. So we got like a
Santa Monica, Westwood, anything.
yeah, bro.
You gotta drive like 30 minutes.
Drive, bro. And even when I was home, I'm going to play pickup out at this joint. It's called Open Gym Premier. So it's out in Anaheim, like by Disney. So
you really driving out.
Man, I got a 45-minute drive, no traffic, like no traffic. If it's a traffic, it turns to an hour and a half. Out. But I mean, he's enjoying it, man. He out there, like he was telling me this crazy story, like, he's working with a team and he's like, kind of the same thing what you were saying about when you were in the bubble. He was like, it was Brandon Boston's birthday. And they had a party for him. The whole team came out. And this is the beginning of the year. So he's like, John Wall's there, Kawhi's there. Joel, he's like, man, I'm partying with Kawhi and Paul, George, and John Wall.
Yeah.
We're from DC, so like we grew up watching
John Wall.
John Wall was like that guy, bro. He's like, he was like Little Baby song came on. And he was like him and John Wall rapping the joint together. He was like, man, it was crazy. Like, so he's enjoying it, man. I'm sensing prayers from my man. He just came back home and tours Patella playing pickup, man.
Oh, damn.
Trying to get back into it, but he enjoys it, man. I'm like, listen, I'm about to be out here with you, bro. I love it out there in LA.
Yeah.
I think just from a creative standpoint, networking standpoint, I'm going to the games.
Oh, yeah.
I met the founder of Switch Cultures. I met the photographer for Clutch Sports, Gradient Visuals, just networking.
Yeah, like networking everything, bro. And if you're gonna be in Japan, just like flying in and out, like it's so much easier. I'm like,
listen, I had a 16-hour trip coming from DC. I had a 6-hour flight to LA. Then I had a over. Then I had an 11-hour flight. 11-hour flight to Tokyo. Then I had another flight to Okayama. So it was like a 24-hour travel day from DC to Tokyo to Okayama with the layover. So I left on like a Tuesday. I got to Japan. It was Thursday. Like I lost like a day, bro. It was wild. So LA coming back, it was 9 hours. Bro, y'all can do this.
Yeah.
You can do this. Yeah. Way easier, bro. Way quick little flight, watch movies.
Yeah.
And so I got a few more questions for you, man, before I let you go, man.
For sure.
For the DMV folks watching this, I know they would be mad at me if I didn't ask you this because, for us, right, Markelle Fultz was a guy who was, number one pick in the draft. Came out of nowhere, crazy kind of comeback story from playing freshman in his first year, going to JV his sophomore year, and having 2 years, we kind of just blew up the scene.
Right.
Number one pick in the draft, went through all the stuff in Philly, with the shoulder injury, getting traded, right? He gets to Orlando, and everybody kind of just leaves him for dead. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, obviously now he's kind of been able to have a breakout year this past year with the Magic and kind of get back on his feet and really show guys, flashes of what what people thought he was going to be when he came out. You had the opportunity to play with him kind of when he was going through all that stuff. And what can you say just about him as a teammate? Just being there with him during those times, like about his work ethic and kind of just what was going on at that time in Orlando, just trying to find himself again and rediscover himself. Because I guess, for us, a lot of people back home, are so happy to see him kind of just playing well again and stuff like that. But it was dark, man, for a little bit. A lot of folks were kind of counting him out, calling him a bust, this and that. So just from your short time that you were there, what can you say just about the time that you were able to spend with him and kind of just seeing him as a teammate?
Bro, he was dope, bro. He was my locker buddy. He was right next to me. I felt like he was one of the ones that was like so down to earth. And it could have been because of his experiences, But he definitely was the ones helping. Like, bro, me and Markelle got real close. Definitely one of the homies. He's the one that got me into 2K real tough. I hadn't really played 2K like that before getting to Orlando. And then when I got there, him and some of the other guys like played 2K in my park and stuff. So he got me into that. But seeing him practicing like his work ethic, like I felt like, I don't know if it was a surprise, but I felt like NBA players are so much better than what people think. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I'm like a down turn or whatever, bro. Like, you let Markel just be in them to shoot threes, he'll probably make like 75 to 80 out of 100, you know, just let him shooting them. But then, like, you go into games and stuff, and there's all this added pressure, like, scout people contesting, whatever. And when I was there, like, before he got hurt, Markel was, like, killing. You know, he was showing flashes of, like, why he was so highly touted and why everyone wanted him on the team. Like, people are crazy if they don't think, like, organizations don't want a player like him on their team. You know, like that, just at his size and, like, all the things he can do with the ball is pretty crazy. And he's not a guy that's like, I need to score. You know, like, he can score, but he's like I feel like in the league now, like, even in basketball now, the point guard has, like, changed. Like, it's like a combo guard now. Like, it's not like a pass first, like, I'm going to set the table guy no more. It's more like, if you can't create your own shot and score and then kind of pass too, you're kind of an afterthought. So I feel like it's refreshing, like, seeing him, a guy that, like, wants to set the table and push the pace and play defense and, like, be that leader. And then who can also score and be athletic, like, play. And I'm so happy he's like getting back into it and having the success that we all know he can have.
No, that's for sure. I think that's kind of the same thing that I feel, from watching him play, man, seeing him kind of set the table, pass, and stuff like that, man. It's a lost art in the NBA today for sure. Yeah. And one of our segments that we do on this show, kind of play on the name, is called "What's in Your Bag." So I'm gonna ask you what's in your bag, and this is for a night out, right? So let's paint the picture, man. You're going to C'est La Vie in Tokyo, man. What you throwing on? What's in your bag, man? Give me the fit. And then, actually, if you had a physical bag, like, what are you throwing in it? If you had, like, a tote bag or over the shoulder, what are you throwing in the bag? Right. What a question.
Bro, I'm probably wearing just some regular jeans. I don't feel like I'm too flashy, bro. I'm probably just wearing some regular Levi jeans, probably some off-white shoes, a graphic tee, like a nice tee, and the Supreme watch I bought. First of all, stuff in Tokyo is mad cheap. Like, if you go to the right bag alley store, you can find you a deal now. So, probably put on.
I gotta put me on. Put me on. No cap. Show me the spot.
If you come back out here, bro, I got you. Probably all black fit, bro. I usually don't wear it over the shoulder, so I just got my wallet, the pocket Wi-Fi, and my phone keys, bro. Yeah, the pocket Wi-Fi is open now. I got the pocket Wi-Fi on.
It's on me. It's on me at all times. At all times.
In my phone, but I ain't too flashy, bro. I'll be out there just trying to have a good time, just chill out and relax.
Yeah, the pocket Wi-Fi is a gem, man. That's a gem. So, man, last question I'll ask you, man. We always end the episode off. Shout out to All the Smoke. We stole this segment from them, man. But who is one person that we should have on the What's in Your Bag podcast? But whoever you say, you got to give us the assist, man, and help us get them on.
Sure. One person you should have on, bro. Let me try to think. Dang. I think you have my guy Aubrey Dawkins on from Central Florida. He played at Michigan, transferred to Central Florida. Son of Johnny Dawkins, who played in the league.
Sir.
Head coach of UCF. He has had a kind of a whirlwind career, bro. Played in the G League, then went to Turkey, came back and played for the G League Ignite. Then has just recently went back to Turkey. So I want to say my boy Aubrey Dawkins definitely has an interesting story and a cool story to tell. Played at in that like prep school conference with like Brewster, NMH.
Yep.
All like Tilden, yeah.
Yeah, the NIPSAC with Brewster.
Yeah, NIPSAC.
No football.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's all them, bro. So I feel like he'd be a good one for you.
I feel like it's such a small world because Aubrey Dawkins played on G League Ignite this year with my boy Cam, who was my teammate at in college, man. So they were teammates. Yeah, I just had Cam on the podcast last week. So definitely love to have Aubrey, man. If you can give us the assist on that, we love to have
I will, bro.
Forward, man. Now this has been dope, man. This has been a ton of fun. Definitely want to first of all say thank you, bro, for coming on. Cause I know you battling a sickness, man. So for you to come on the podcast, throughout that is definitely something I don't take lightly. I want to say thank you for that, for taking the time out.
Sure. Thanks for having me, man.
No doubt, bro. From the second I met you, man, I could tell you were good vibes, man. A good dude. It's been a pleasure to be able to watch you, this year in Japan, and hopefully you come back, man. We can kick it a little more. Like I said, if you come down to Osaka, let me know, man. I'll definitely pop out on you, man. We can go kick it out there, man. But
Sure.
Good luck with the rest of your career, bro. It's been a pleasure. And like I said, man, keep doing your thing, bro. Like I said, I know we'll stay in touch, and hopefully I'll be able to see you soon.
Absolutely. Stay in touch, bro. I'm wishing you the best of luck on your 3v3, bro. I hope you go out there, kill, show what you can do, bro. And enjoy it. For real. Like, I hope you enjoy it, the whole experience. But I'm definitely gonna try to come to Osaka. If I get down there, I'm hitting you up.
Hit me, bro, for sure. For sure, man.
All right, brother. Be easy.
All righty, guys. This has been another episode of the What's in Your Bag podcast presented by Bet Online. Like I said in the beginning, man, make sure you guys are liking this podcast, subscribing to this podcast, giving us a 5-star rating. It goes a long, long way. This is going to be my guy, Pull Up Tay, on the outro. Make sure you guys are streaming his music. Until next time, folks. See you.
Suave. I've been in my bag for a while, I'm invincible. Story of a young boss, grinding shit get critical. Calling on my bros one time, cause you special. I had some hoop dreams of right rounds for my mental. Every target that I shoot is on point like a pencil. Different road, change relationships, I'm so sorry. Came up from the trenches and I made it, I say hardly. Now